streets are most unfortunate. And the right-thinking citizens of India must call it out. Someone has to call a stop to all of this. And I know that politicians like grandstanding. Sometimes the more insecure you are, the more grandstanding you do. But that's for politicians. The media, the right-thinking media, must not be a mute witness to a grandstanding that can be a threat to law and order. And while there are many in the media who are supporting the continuance of the MVA government, which is having a tough time with its own numbers, even they must not look away when some grandstanders threaten to sort things out, not in court, not in the legislature, but on the streets using muscle power. That cannot be allowed. It just can't, ladies and gentlemen. I come to you with 3 debates tonight. Firstly, will a floor test come next? I have a big debate tonight. And then after that, what's the fuss about the arrest of Teesta Setalvad when everyone knows the conspiracy she was a part of? What a terrible conspiracy, and what an act of cowardice by Teesta. And debate number 3 tonight, viewers. Now this man says he's calling everyone out. His name is some Zubair they say, and he's been provoking and incessantly inciting, and now he's been arrested. Well, let's see what happens next. Punish the provocateurs. Ladies and gentlemen, and here are the headlines this Monday evening on the Debate Tonight. Shinde's camp will not be disqualified. They get the time and the political edge till the 11th of July. Sources indicate floor test possible in the next few days in Maharashtra. The BJP goes into a huddle. Insiders say the BJP is confident about the support of 170 MLAs. And Uddhav's main man, Sanjay Raut, gets a ED summons in a big land scam he's called tomorrow. One of India's biggest political conspiracies exposed on the Debate Tonight, the Teesta files, coming up at 10 p.m. And self-styled, operational word being self-styled fact-checker Zubair has been arrested by the Delhi police for promoting enmity. And ladies and gentlemen, the battle for the Shiv Sena has reached the Supreme Court. But even as the top court is set to hear the case on the 11th of July, on ground, every party is chalking out their strategy, and the only question is, will there be a floor test or not? It is hashtag Uddhav numbers or not. As of now, it appears not. It appears not. Let's debate.
As the numbers in the MVA dwindle, as warnings are issued,
decisions taken and the notices given by the Deputy Speaker was in itself illegal. A minority group cannot give a whip to a majority group. More than two-thirds of the members are together, and they are itself a Shiv Sena group.
नहीं कहा था पर जो लोग 40-45 कितने भी हो जो गुवाहाटी में है उनका ज़मीर उनका आत्मा मर चुका है, और जिनका आत्मा मर गया होता है उनका सिर्फ शरीर रहता है, उनका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता, कोई वजूद नहीं होता. ऐसी बॉडी ऐसे शरीर यहाँ आकर क्या होगा?
as more and more MLAs air their dissatisfaction,
मी शंभूराज शिवाजीराव देसाई, शिवसेना आमदार 261 पाटण विधानसभा मतदारसंघ, नामधारी राज्यमंत्री या ठिकाणी आम्ही सगळेजण या ठिकाणी काम करत होतो. अनेक वेळा मीच नाही तर माझ्या सहकारी सर्व माननीय राज्यमंत्री महोदयांनी, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदयांना आम्ही भेटण्याचा प्रयत्न केला. त्यांना अनेक वेळा भेटून विनंती केली की राज्यमंत्र्यांचे अधिकार हे या ठिकाणी आपण दिले पाहिजेत, वाढवून दिले पाहिजेत. परंतु 2.5 वर्ष झाली राज्यमंत्र्यांना कुठलेही अधिकार मिळाले नाहीत.
as protests grow, the matter reached the top court this afternoon.
What is The Supreme Court has first said 11th of July is the next stage of the hearing. They've given time for the disqualified MLAs to be filing their replies before the Deputy Speaker, which is a big breather for them, because without them filing their replies, they cannot be disqualified by the Speaker. So time has been extended. The Supreme Court also asks the Maharashtra government to provide security to all 39 MLAs.
आज सबसे बड़ा और ओनली मुद्दा जिस पे मुझे बहस करना था और जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट था, क्योंकि 2 दिन का टाइम देके 25 को उन्होंने कहा था 27 को आप रिप्लाई फाइल करिए, और हमें डर था कि अगर ये प्रोसीडिंग्स कंक्लूड हो जाएंगी तो आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे। उसका जब टाइम बढ़ा दिया गया है, आज कोई डिसीजन उस पर हो नहीं सकती क्योंकि टाइम बढ़ा दिया गया है 12 जुलाई तक। उस
verdict or the interim order which has been given, that is for the argument will continue on 11th of July. The long rope which was argued, I mean, when the disqualification proceedings are on and only 2 days time was given, was too short, as was said by observed by the court.
Now, high-level meetings across parties and alliances are underway. The BJP MLAs have been told to remain available.
संविधान में पार्टी में जिस और बहुमत होता है, मूल पार्टी के वो नेता होते हैं। यहाँ पे जब हम देखते हैं 2/3 2/3 मेजॉरिटी विधायक अगर एकनाथ शिंदे जी के पास है, हम उन्हें बागी कैसा कहेंगे। आज भी उनकी ओर से ये कहा जा रहा है कि शिवसेना के मूल जो विचार हिंदुत्व का है, हम आज भी इस हिंदुत्व के विचार के साथ हैं।
High-level MVA meetings are happening.
कॉन्फिडेंस जीत की तो पूरी है और प्यार भी पूरा है। जो दगेबाजी करते हैं वो कभी जीतते नहीं है, जो भाग के जाते हैं वो कभी जीतते नहीं है। मुझे थोड़ा पढ़ना है, जो भी अभी का निर्णय हो मुझे पढ़ना पड़ेगा।
The Eknath Shinde camp is in a huddle.
Lawyer from the Shinde camp has went to the office of a deputy speaker, and now what we have been told that the letter of this information will be also given to the governor of Maharashtra.
And all possibilities are on the table.
Well, with sources indicating clearly to Republic that on first hand, the governor of Maharashtra, Bhagat Singh Koshyari, can appoint a pro tem speaker within the next 48 hours. And as soon as that happens, we are being indicated that prior to the first weekend of the coming month, that is the 9th, which happens to be a Saturday, the speaker can announce a special session of the Maharashtra Assembly can be called in. And while that is happening, we are also being indicated that the Eknath Shinde faction of the BJP, which is in Guwahati at this very point of time, on one hand can directly approach the Election Commission to stake their claim on Shiv Sena, while on the other hand, they can also approach the governor, and that is to stake claim and to prove that the present Uddhav Thackeray government is in minority.
Which way will the political winds blow remains to be seen. Let's debate.
Okay. With us this evening, Deepak Kesarkar, who is a spokesperson for the Eknath Shinde group, Satyapal Jain, senior lawyer, M.R. Venkatesh, political analyst and lawyer, Smita Prakash, editor of ANI, Sajid Supariwala of the Shiv Sena, Vijay Krishna, supporting the Shiv Sena, Lokesh Jindal of the Congress, J.C. Chandurkar, senior leader of the Congress, and Dr. Suresh Mane of the Bahujan Republican Socialist Party. Now, see Mr. Supariwala. Can you hear me? Mr. Supariwala. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can we have everyone on, please? Yeah, that's it.
I can hear you.
I can hear you now. See, Mr. Supariwala, it is not going well for you.
Yeah.
Your disqualification of 16 MLAs has been put on hold, which means there could be a floor test. On a floor test today, you don't have the numbers. My point is, what is the point issuing threats? Aa jao, dekh lenge. It should be a street war now. हमारी ट्यूनिंग ऐसी है, शिव सैनिकों की ट्यूनिंग ऐसी है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, fires will burn. If you don't have the numbers, by saying these kind of things, will you be able to get the numbers?
I'll only be able to say one thing over here. That our party Shiv Sena and our Sahib Uddhav Sahib and Aditya Sahib, they have always only accommodated people. They have always been saying that whatever problems you have, you kindly come and talk it out. We have never written them off, as Uddhav Sahib's message was also there quite a few times. Now the party is always through the people, not only through 38 people who are elected by these people. Right now, I was at a sabha of Aditya Sahib and there were thousands of Shiv Senics gathered. Why are they gathered? Because they are wanting the leadership to continue. Always, Uddhav Sahib and Aditya Sahib have always tried to accommodate these people who have gone away. I do not know what is the reason, but I will only tell one thing, that what kya nahi diya sahab ne, everything he's given, okay? He's given tickets to those legislators, then only they won the election.
Sajid, if I may just come in. My point is, to say that these people, their bodies will come back, 40 bodies will come back, then a post-mortem will be done. Party workers are not in our control anymore. Anything can happen. हमारी tuning ऐसी है. Carrying out funeral rites of party MLAs, attacking independent MLAs. What is this exactly? I'm trying to understand what is this exactly? Is it an attempt to? I'm asking you, Mr. Kesarkar is here, is very senior. No. Point being, do you think people will get scared? Is that the idea? Do you think that this Mr. Kesarkar and all the other 39 MLAs will get scared and then come back and then join you? What is the idea? You tell. I want to understand this. A very dangerous trend. Yeah.
Yeah, Arnab, I'm going to answer your question only. Mr. Deepak Kesarkar and all the people who are gathered there, Deepak Kesarkar ji is here. He also knows the working style of Shiv Sena. Whenever anybody leaves Shiv Sena, the emotions are there with Sahib. The problem over here is not that. Violence and everything is a secondary thing. The first thing which has happened is whenever anybody has left Shiv Sena, there has been uproar by the people, not because they want to break the law and order, but because of the emotions for Sahib.
Okay, so you're saying you're saying that there will be some violence. Is that what you're saying? Is a threat of violence, because this is exactly what Sanjay Raut says, that we can't help it. See, you are in power today. Law and order is under you. I wonder what is the message that you are giving to the police. There's a particular police officer said to one of our reporters, what are we expected to do? You see, you impose 144, but you give permission for Aditya Thackeray's rallies. I don't understand. It doesn't seem to add up.
Do you want to know what is happening here? People are really emotional. That is the reason Uddhav Sahib and Aditya Sahib is coming.
But you have the numbers or don't have the numbers. Now, what is the point in getting at a political level? If you don't have the numbers, then what is this emotional argument? How will it help?
Yeah, I'm not coming at that now. I'm answering one question at a time. Let me answer. The 38 people or 40 people, whoever are there, if they have the majority and everything is ready with them, why don't they come and do the floor test, and the floor test mein saari baatein pata chal jayegi? Because see what is happening.
So there will be a floor test. No, there will be a floor. So you admit. Right now. Okay, Mr. Kesarkar. My point is, let there be a floor test. Will you participate in the floor test, Mr. Kesarkar?
Certainly.
Or will you be in Guwahati? Will you come for the floor test?
Yeah, we'll go for the floor test. We want to go back to Maharashtra as soon as possible, because our attachment is there, and now that Supreme Court has said that the law and order is to be taken care by the current government, I think peace will prevail, and I think that they will accept that we have the number, and in democracy the number matters. So they will have to accept this, and whatever being told is that it is the anger that somebody is leaving Shiv Sena. I will like to mention very humbly that we have never left Shiv Sena. Even today I have given a blog saying that we have not left Shiv Sena, and Shiv Sena as a political party and Shiv Sena as a parliamentary party are two different identities. So the Shiv Sena party in the Maharashtra Assembly has decided that Eknath Shinde is going to be our leader.
That's it.
And
Let's settle them.
we have given them all the rights to form a government with the help of any political party.
When you have not,
and I have conveyed this
as
to
per you,
Honorable
as per
Uddhav
you,
also,
Deepakji,
and
as per
have
you.
seek his blessings.
As per your statement, you said you have not left Shiv Sena. So what is the problem? Our leader has always been Uddhav Sahib Thackeray. Why suddenly, after 2.5 years, you are realizing that somebody else is a leader? And when Eknath Shinde was there, he was enjoying the ministership. Why didn't he say it that time? Why after 2.5, 3 years, you are coming back? That, okay, we do not want to continue with MVA. You all always
But that's
been
a forgotten
enjoying the
chapter now, no?
ministerialship.
Sajid,
So
Sajid,
what is
that's
the problem now
Sajid,
suddenly?
that's a forgotten chapter. The things are
But suddenly why?
No, because he says here, he says we are called dirty pigs.
Arnab,
He
let
says
me
in the
speak.
letter,
Arnab, I'm
he
trying
says
to
in the
put in
letter,
a-
have you read his
I'm just trying
letter?
to put in a
Have you
point.
read Mr. Kesarkar's
See, I'll
letter?
tell you something.
Have you seen Mr.
I'll tell you something.
Kesarkar's letter?
This is my personal opinion. I have every right. Arnab, I have seen. Arnab, I'm just trying to come to your point. Let me speak. I am speaking as a personal opinion of mine. I'm speaking as an individual Shiv Sainik. I'm speaking as an individual Maharashtrian and Mumbaikar. I'm just asking a simple question. What came to my mind? Whether
Right,
you accept
sure you
my
can, but
opinion or
okay,
not
now-
is not my problem. Whether
Now,
you don't
now
accept,
what he says
it's
here,
fine.
you
I'm
see,
just putting
things
up
have.
my
Okay,
opinion,
now,
that's it.
Sajid, 1 minute, I heard you. Now, Sajid, point being, things have become complicated. Now, you may not want. Let me open up for everyone. Let me get Smita in. Fact is, see, Sajid, things are complicated. The fact is, you don't seem to have the numbers. And fact also is, Smita, point must be made that the group that is in Guwahati has not broken. It has only grown. And the Supreme Court has not disqualified the MLAs, so you're in trouble. I mean, you got to understand that. I want Smita as a very distinguished political analyst. Can you get a perspective, please? Yeah.
Have they accepted?
Smita wants to say something here. Sajid, 1 minute.
Have they accepted also?
Before I get to Guwahati and before I get to the Supreme Court part, Arnab, I'm completely shocked at that somebody could actually come on TV and say violence is secondary. That's a very elitist way of looking at things, sir. I say it respectfully. Arnab, you face the violence, right? Can anybody say that a threat of violence from a Shiv Sainik can be taken lightly or is secondary? I cannot understand why. No, sir. Secondary nahi, primary ho jata hai. Primary ho jata hai. Threat to life and property is a primary thing for every citizen in this country. It's a democratic right that we should feel secure from people who we have elected. Forget about street violence. If threats of street violence come from democratically elected legislators, are you saying that is secondary? Please do not say this. Please take back your words to say that violence is secondary and getting elected, not elected, or winning a confidence vote is primary. No, it is not.
No. I think what we are trying to communicate to you.
Your point is also wrong.
No. 1 minute. Just one point. Sajid, you need to understand this. Sajid, I'm not misunderstanding, and please let me make my point to you as well. The point we are trying to make to you is that this kind of arguments that have been put, I would say rather immaturely by your distinguished senior leader Sanjay Raut, that Shiv Sainiks, can go out of control. There's, they're emotional. Please understand, emotion does not give you the right to take the law and order into our own hands and threaten violence. Should tomorrow, should Mr. Eknath Shinde say, or should Mr. Kesarkar say that I am very emotional at the manner in which I have been mistreated by Mr. Sanjay Raut. If I am very emotional by the way in Mr. Sanjay Raut has abused me, or the language that he has used against me, I am very emotional. My supporters, should his supporters also say we are going to go out of control? And what, are you not in power? Is there no sense of responsibility to maintain law and order? I'm asking you today, how are you allowing this? Across the country, people are absolutely appalled. And please don't try to give this impression, oh, this is how things are in Mumbai. Mumbai is the financial capital of India. And let me say it on record, Sajid, I'm saying this to you 1 minute. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete that while your government was a mute spectator when there was an acid attack on me. And you in fact didn't do nothing at that point of time or lift your little finger to question what was happening at that point of time. Today I'm not speaking on behalf of myself. I'm saying there has to be a stop to this. If you can't have your numbers, it's not the country's problem. If you don't have the numbers, it's not the citizens' problem.
Even you have misbehaved. Even you have misbehaved.
No. If you don't have the numbers, if you don't, no, 1 minute. If you don't have the numbers, you can't threaten violence.
We cannot.
If you can't, no, I'm sorry. If you don't have the numbers, you don't have the numbers. That's it. Don't threaten violence. Things can go out of control.
Okay,
there's got to be some responsibility.
You are saying we don't have the numbers. Let them come to the floor test. We will talk on the floor test. So
Mr. Kesarkar, have the floor test. Let this be done with. Mr. Kesarkar, will you participate in the floor test?
Let them prove it.
1 minute. Satyapal Jain is also on the debate. 1 minute. Mr. Kesarkar, let there be the floor test, no? Let there be a floor test.
Let me speak at least.
Yes.
We are all ready to come to Maharashtra, give the floor test. You be ready with your MLAs. Not only this, if you have any MLA here, let them approach me secretly. I will see to it that they go back to Mumbai very safely. Don't misguide the people of Maharashtra. We are very clear. We have not raised this issue after 2.5 years.
No need to keep secrets.
Please let me reply and then you speak.
We'll talk straight away.
2.5 years have gone. Out of that, 1.5 years, we are constantly telling Honorable Uddhav ji, please withdraw the support of this government and form a government with BJP, who are your natural allies. We have fought the election on BJP, Sena,
Mr.
and people have elected you with that verdict, and you will have to accept the verdict of the people.
My point is,
maybe BJP have insulted you are hurt, but politics is about that. Politics is
see, what I'm saying here is, Mr. Mane, just a minute. Sajid, wait a minute. Let me say something here. Sajid, let me get others in. Satyapal Jain, I'm coming to you. My point is, see, now that Uddhav Thackeray has decided that he is not going with BJP, he is going to be with NCP and Congress. Let us see the situation here. It's a choice every political reader has a right to make. Mr. Kesarkar, you can keep saying that they should go back to the Hindutva agenda, they should go with BJP. But if Mr. Thackeray has decided, no, I am going to be with NCP, I am going to be with Vadra Congress, it's a right, it's a choice. He's made a choice. So I don't think there is any point in asking him again, no, you come back to BJP. That's not the point. Point is, Mr. Mane, there has to be a floor test now. And I don't think we can wait. I think there should be a floor test this week.
Right.
जैसे से दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो जाए.
Arnab, you are absolutely right. Absolutely, you are right. But my question is, since last 1 week, why the rebel group has waited for the floor test? Number one, why they have not gone to the governor demanding the floor test, and that shows that. Despite they are claiming our number is more than 37, 38, they have not tried on record for the floor test. Even today before the Supreme Court, they have not put up any concrete proposition. Then after the judgment, the meeting of the Bombay Maharashtra BJP leader is held in Mumbai. In that, after that meeting, press briefing, they said BJP is in a wait and watch position. We are not going to the governor. They have called all MLAs of the BJP after 3 days in Mumbai. It means at least for 3 days, there will not be any motion for confidence or no confidence before the Maharashtra Legislative Assembly.
Then why doesn't Shiv Sena, okay, let me put it this way. Satyapal Jain, does that take away the possibility of the Shiv Sena moving a confidence vote? Let the Shiv Sena move a confidence vote.
Why the government will move?
Why should they not? Because you say you have the numbers.
I just want to...
You say you have the numbers.
I just want to...
Satyapal Jain,
I just want to make...
Okay, Mr. Mane, let's hear Satyapal Jain also, please.
I am just making two two small points. See, after the election of the Vidhan Sabha, 54 MLAs of the Shiv Sena elected Mr. Eknath Shinde as the leader. He was elected, not nominated. Now, after the 54 MLAs elected him as the leader, now a few days back, no, please, after a few days, the 19 or 16 MLAs come together and say we are removing him, whereas 38 MLAs says he still continues to be our leader. I am asking a simple question. Will the party legislature be governed by the majority or the minority? Number one. Number two, you are talking of the confidence motion. 34 MLAs of the Shiv Sena that was brought to the notice of the Supreme Court today. In writing, have given a motion of no confidence against the Deputy Speaker. Why can't Deputy Speaker and the Chief Minister call session of the House to decide the
quick interruption?
Take a decision.
No.
Arnab, quick interruption.
Yeah, sure. There are three panelists who haven't spoken, but yet,
On law issue, Arnab, on law point, if he is saying that 34 members have demanded, it means they don't have 38 plus. That is the one thing which goes on record. Number two, appointment of the floor leader. That is a prerogative of the party president.
Under the
Read
rules,
the constitution of Shiv Sena.
10% will be 28.
No.
And 34 is more than 28.
There is a possibility. There is one more possibility.
Yes.
One minute.
Yes.
Okay.
The floor leader is always
So one more
party president.
Can I, Your Eminences, give me a moment. Your Eminences, give me a moment. Give me a moment.
By 10% members.
Yeah. Mr. Jain, you know.
And those who have moved the resolution, they are 34.
No, Mr. Jain, I want to put it. See, let's be very logical. See, J.C. Chandrachud ji, Lokesh Jindal, Vijay Krishna, I know it's a difficult position, but nobody can do anything. Only you have to save yourself. The fact is, the governor can appoint a pro tem speaker. And the speaker can convene a special session. End of story. There will be a special session. Numbers will be proven. Mr. Chandrachud, see, the governor can appoint a pro tem speaker, right? Like the Supreme Court had ordered in November 2019, where the Fadnavis government had to undergo a floor test. I'm giving 2019 example in 2022. Yes, Mr. Chandrachud. Mr. Chandurkar. Yeah, Mr. Chandurkar.
I would like to state some facts.
Yeah.
Arnab ji, I want to state some facts.
Go on.
Your panelists are saying this by sitting outside the assembly, but I have an experience of 21 years in the assembly, and I have myself seen such upheavals many times in my political career. Based on my experience, I would like to submit that a pro tem speaker is appointed by a governor when a house is newly formed. Now, here, a pro tem speaker was appointed as in Karnataka because the house was newly formed, but here the speaker was already appointed and the speaker has resigned, and in his place the deputy speaker is functioning. Now, coming back to another point, what is a function of a speaker? To be impartial. But from the experience of the Indian states and the legislative functions in India, it has been noticed that the speaker which belongs to the ruling party always upholds the say of the ruling party and okays it in the house.
No, but so then by that logic, the deputy speaker is from the NCP, right? Background, one minute. Mr. Chandurkar, if I am not mistaken, one minute. The deputy speaker is from the NCP, right? Right?
Yes, obviously.
Right? No. So you are accepting. So indirectly, M.R. Venkatesh, Mr. Chandurkar is accepting that the deputy speaker is playing a partisan role.
Yes. So they want the deputy speaker to be there.
He did not resign after being elected the deputy speaker.
No.
He did not resign from his party.
You want your own lackey to be the speaker or the person to conduct the proceedings. Arnab, let me now that you have given me a chance, let me tell you two things. I think what the spokesperson of Shiv Sena said and rationalized violence as something secondary is condemnable and reprehensible. I strongly condemn it in primetime TV that here is a representative of a political party coming and telling that, okay, this is secondary, this is because emotions are running high. If emotions are running high, please sit in your home, tie a wet towel and do nothing.
please don't come and threaten people. And if this is the attitude of the spokesperson on live TV in your channel,
Okay.
I would only say that the Supreme Court must suo moto take cognizance of such an act.
I began my program, MR, if I may, and I don't want this to distract from the main issue.
I have been called to give my opinion.
Sajid, yes, but let me make my point, then I'll allow you. No, let me make my point. MR, now you made your point. MR, you made your point. MR, you made your point. Sajid, 1 minute. Let me make my point here, okay? Now, see, Sajid. What I'm telling you is this. Think about it logically, okay? Always, you know this ancient Sanskrit shlok, na, krodhat bhavati sammoham. So don't respond in a moment of anger. Because that is when your emotions take the better of you and then we do things and say things which we regret later. My point is, let us think very coolly. Where I totally disagree with you and Sanjay Raut is this argument that emotions can justify us doing anything and we were doing it emotionally. By this logic, every single person who commits an act of breaking law and order can justify it saying I was in a rage at that moment. It doesn't work that way. Please accept it, and I'm saying please fight it out politically, but please don't talk about a street war. You know, we don't want that, and you cannot control it. Nobody can control it. It has to stop. I'm concerned. You think people are not concerned about a cadre level fight? Of course, there will be a cadre-to-cadre battle between the Eknath Shinde group and Uddhav Thackeray, but that has to be a political fight, not a violent fight.
Let me speak, Arnab.
This violence and all has to stop.
I've not even said a word about violence. I have told you.
You did, sir. You
Okay, Emma, now let him respond. Emma, let him respond now. There's no violence on my program.
I'm not justifying violence. I'm not justifying violence. I'm not justifying violence. I'm just telling you that I was answering your question one at a time. When you are talking about violence, definitely, law should not be broken. I'm not propagating violence. I'm just telling you one simple thing, that only concluding this debate of mine from my side is because why don't you come to the floor test, prove yourself, and finish this problem?
They are coming.
Why are you making Maharashtra hang?
No, Deepak has to respond to you. They are coming. 1 minute, Emma, 1 minute. Emma, cool down, everyone. I'm asking a second time. Okay, I'm getting Vijay Krishna on the debate. Everyone, first of all, cool down. We have Vijay Krishna right now joining the debate. Okay, now I want you to say once again, Mr. Kesarkar, floor test. You have a chance. Let's go for it.
Of course, it is our right. We will go there, we will have a floor test, we will prove our majority. And in democracy, that is the most important thing. But before we go for the floor test, the Supreme Court has also ordered to bring peace to Maharashtra. And that is now the prime duty of the Maharashtra government to bring peace. And as a constitutional head of Maharashtra government, it is primarily the responsibility of the Honorable CM to bring that peace. Because in democracy, the government is not decided on the street, but on the floor of the house. And that's why we want to go to the floor of house. And you are asking me why we were late, because that case was there and
then
your deputy speaker was not acting as per law. That's why we have gone to the court of law.
Okay, Smita wants to ask you a question. I think it's to Deepak she wants to ask.
Now we are coming.
I need to take a leave. I've got other engagements.
Just wait 2 minutes. Wait 2 minutes, Sajid.
No, may I ask a question, sir?
And then we'll sort it out. Try to understand. I have to have other engagements.
Sir,
just 1 minute. 2 minutes,
Sajid.
2 minutes, Sajid. 2 minutes. Just wait.
House to prove your majority. I just have one question. If you are ready to come to the floor of the house to prove your majority and you're just waiting for the opportune time so that there is no violence, then why have you made provisions to extend your stay by 1 more week in Guwahati Hotel? That means it's going to extend for 1 more week.
Shall I explain?
Yeah.
You know, while going to the floor of house, you will have to call for the assembly session. That is not yet done. So it is not necessary if we have extended our reservation, it is not necessary we will stay till that date. As soon as the assembly session is conveyed, we will immediately fly from here to Maharashtra, will prove our majority. I think that is how democracy works.
Is it a fear? Because the suggestion given by those who are with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray is that if your group comes to Mumbai or back to Maharashtra, the unity of the group will break up.
No, not at all. I'm again repeating my same answer, that if there is even 1, 2, 3, 4, let them approach me secretly. I will see to it that they reach Mumbai safely. Mr. Deshmukh has reached safely from Surat to Mumbai in similar fashion. We are ready for that. You are just creating a psychological pressure on our people that one of you is talking to us. It is not like that. If there is a call from Uddhav Sahib or Aditya Sahib or any of the top leaders, he will not, insult them. He will accept the call because, we still love him. He's still our leader.
So many times Uddhav Sahib has told you
all. But it should not be taken in other way. That when we accept your cause, that does not mean that we are with you.
Uddhav Sahib have already told
then why should we have come all the way here? And why we have stayed together? Because these are the pressure tactics which we want to avoid.
Why call them, if you're being reconciliatory, why call them traitors, people in an IPL auction, people who have been bought for a few crores, whose quote-unquote bodies will come back? What was the need for all this?
I will tell you one thing. Arnab, I'll definitely join your debate again. I'm sorry I have to leave and I'm answering your question on this. I'm concluding my debate that I am ready, my Sahib is ready. They are not, our Uddhav Sahib is not saying, Uddhav Sahib is theirs also. They have only gone away. Uddhav Sahib have never deserted them. Let them come, prove themselves on the floor test and we'll conclude. No, we will come again. We can always have a debate again.
So there will be a floor test. Okay, fine. I'll see you again, Sajid. Point being, now let's get Lokesh Jindal. Let's get Vijay Krishna into this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Vijay Krishna, Lokesh Jindal. You have to understand the numbers are not going good. Let it be. I mean, you don't want president's rule, do you? If you carry it out like this, you want president's rule, Vijay Krishna. Do you want a midterm election? If the alternative group of Eknath, Shinde and BJP has the numbers, let there be a peaceful change of guard, Vijay. Why are you against a peaceful change of guard?
Arnab, good evening. Arnab, good evening for having me in a wonderful debate show. I'll tell you, cats while drinking milk closes its eyes and thinks that the world is not watching it. And I humbly bow to the political experience of Deepak Kesarkarji. And he has just said that they put a proposal to Rajya Pramukh Shri Uddhav Thackerji with regard to allying with BJP. Even if it was to ally with BJP as a Shiv Sainik, I would not object to it. But it is not allying with BJP. It is to make Devendra Fadnavis as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Did we not allow Devendra Fadnavis to complete his full 5 years term from 2014 to 2019? I want my leader on top, man. That is loyalty. That is loyalty of Shiv Sainik, Deepak Kesarkarji. And BJP is such a cunning party, it uses our own finger to puncture our own eyes. Ye ho raha hai, ye aake backstabbing hai. And today, those people who speak against Parivarvad, today Eknath Shinde's son amasses huge crowd. And they are indulging in breaking cars. And they are breaking their own offices and putting blame on Shiv Sena, the real Shiv Sena.
But you don't have the numbers, no, Vijay.
So I am saying,
Vijay, you don't have the numbers.
Sanjay Rawatji talked about the...
What is he talking?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Who is Uddhav Thackeray? Who is Aditya Thackeray? Bala Sahib's children, no, that is dynastic also.
The Eknath Shinde camp is not merely a form of a dissension, but a full-fledged defection.
Who is Gomdi Chors? Who is Narayan Rane? Who is Nitin Rane? You also need to talk about them. Who is Jyotiraditya Scindia? Who is Madhav Rao Scindia? Who is Vasundhara Scindia?
No. So then why are you saying
these are all secondary issues? These are all secondary issues. These are all secondary issues. Fact of the matter is, who has constitutional law on their side? And their experienced and senior lawyers representing the Shinde camp and the Uddhav faction effectively made it about constitutional provisions to claim the ground. Who has constitutional law on their side? The Uddhav camp sought disqualification of Shinde camp MLAs, saying they did not attend a meeting mandated by Shiv Sena's chief whip Sunil Prabhu. I want to know, how can disqualification arise out of attendance of meetings? There was no voting involved. It's not making any sense. No, and by the way, Mr. Jindal, why are you doing this to the Shiv Sena? It is because of the, you see, 1 minute. Mr. Jindal, 1 minute. Mr. Jindal, 1 minute. Please listen to me.
Why not against all? Why only against 16?
No, but I have another question to Mr. Jindal. Mr. Jindal, whatever you are going through, your party is going through, over the last 10 years, 15 years, you're breaking, this faction, that faction, this faction, that faction. Why do you want to do to the Shiv Sena what has happened to the Congress? It is because of you that they are breaking up today. No, Mr. Jindal, Mr. Jindal, it is your selfishness. You cannot come to power on your own anywhere. You cannot come to power on your own anywhere. So you would rather have the Shiv Sena break up.
Sir, we are trying to preserve the constitution and democracy of this country. See, if you talk about this entire episode, it's a full-fledged defection. It's not some form of a mere dissension. And we already know that the anti-defection law in the country, it lacks teeth to bite. Even Venkatchelian, who headed the NCWRC report, he stated that in case of such defections, all the members, they must be disqualified outrightly. Now, this case that has gone to the Supreme Court, let us understand.
No, what happened when 12 Congress MLAs? What happened when 12 Congress MLAs? 1 minute. What happened when 12? What happened? 1 minute. Listen to me. 12 of your party MLAs walked out of 17, and they joined hands with the Trinamool Congress. And please understand, under paragraph 4 of the 10th schedule, disqualification on account of defection will not apply in case of a merger of one party with another. And the speaker recognized such a merger in Meghalaya. 12 of your party MLAs went and joined. What did you do then? Now you both, Congress and TMC, are complaining. No, what are you talking about?
The point is, effectively, the anti-defection law must be amended and it must be made more potent that any individual.
And then that's another thing, the fact is you don't have the numbers. You don't have the numbers.
Because right now this an open horse trading taking place.
Where is the horse trading here? The whole party has moved. Where is the horse trading?
It's all about. It's all open. It's a horse trading that is taking place.
Are you saying Mr. Kesarkar has been in? What proof do you have that he's part of horse trading, or that he has been traded?
So
you tell
the point is when
Mr. Kesarkar, this is the point. This is the point that has been made last 2 days. IPL auction sold for a few crores. Horse trading. Why aren't you responding to him? This is the point that has been made repeatedly.
Sir, I mentioned in the previous program that I was attending, if your party members say that they were offered money, you make an affidavit in the court, you go to the court of law and prove that somebody has offered you the money. And if it is not true, then that MLA will go to jail for making a wrong affidavit. That is what has come in Gujarat in a particular case where such wrong affidavits were made. So just don't be casual in making some allegations. It is a very serious thing. You are alleging responsible MLAs that they have accepted the money. Please prove it. You are not able to do that. And you are just alleging. And why you are dissatisfied? Because after 2.5 years, what Uddhav Sahib had demanded, that 2.5 years BJP, 2.5 years Shiv Sena. Your 2.5 years are already over. And then when you are going with BJP, do you expect to give another 2.5 years to you as a chief minister? They have 106 MLAs with them. We have 55 MLAs with us. Then how we could demand that? What moral we have to demand that? And your demand are already satisfied, and for that you left your original part.
The point being, Lokesh, 1 minute. The point being truly.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Can I come in?
Yeah.
Very interesting. So what you're saying, sir, is that if the Shiv Sena goes now with the BJP, then the Chief Minister will not be Mr. Shinde but will be Mr. Fadnavis? Is that what you're saying? Because Shiv Sena has already had its 2.5 years as Chief Minister. So if there is a new formation, and in the new formation, the Shiv Sena, whichever form goes, the Shiv Sena goes with the BJP, then the Chief Minister will be Mr. Fadnavis or whoever is the BJP Chief Minister candidate and not Mr. Shinde. Is that what you're saying?
That is what our party chief Uddhav Thackeray has decided, that he wants 2.5 years as a CM in Maharashtra, And then when they had an alliance, the alliance was broken on this particular point. And BJP is a bigger party. So how do you expect? I'm saying if tomorrow they agree to make Shinde CM, I'll be more than happy. But what was Balasaheb's dream was to make a Shiv Sainik CM and not a family member of him to be a CM. So if we really love Balasaheb Thackeray, then why are you hesitating to make Shinde on that post? First of all, he was assured of CM's post when this discussion was going on.
I apologize. I'm interrupting you, sir. I'm interrupting you again.
She's asking you whether you are willing to, whether you're willing to accept
agree to a BJP chief minister.
Sir, we have given all rights to Mr. Shinde. Whatever he decides, if he wants to ask for CM's post, let him ask. But I was answering his question. What he wanted, or the earlier person from Shiv Sena wanted, as that Uddhav Sahib should be continued for 5 years. Whereas he didn't wanted that 5 years. Mr. Pawar, who insisted him that he should be the CM and he should continue for 5 years, which was insisted by Sharad Pawar. So we are talking about our party and not about NCP.
So what
NCP
you're saying is,
anything.
what you're saying
what
is,
was the understanding in BJP and Shiv Sena was that division of CM's post for 50-50%. That is 2.5 years and 2.5 years. If BJP is still ready to give CM's post to Shiv Sena, why I should object? I will be very happy, and I'll be more than happy that they have shown this spirit to bring Shiv Sena together. They are old partners.
So Smita, sum total of what he is saying here is that this is about an alliance with the BJP and not an alliance with the Congress and the NCP. On this, there is no lack of consistency. And the second point, to be fair, is that they have never made this about who's going to be the chief minister. They have made it about who has the numbers. Now, going back to the issue of...
Yes, it's very interesting.
Yeah, they're very open.
Arnab, I think you have a story today. You have a story which nobody else has, which is on your show. There is a kind of tacit admission that there is going to be no demand that it has to be a Shiv Sainik as a chief minister in case Shiv Sena and BJP get together. I think that's a tacit admission.
No. Thank you. No, 1 minute. Smita, 1 minute.
We can demand.
She has. One second.
We have given him all the power.
To be fair, he has said it. He has said it earlier. Mr. Kesakar.
I'll be more than happy.
Mr. Kesakar, Smita is pulling out a headline. I wish the headline came here. The point is that it is not a committal, we don't or we want a chief minister. He's left that issue open. He's not making that the key issue. I think the point being right now that they want to insist that they have the numbers. And where they have an edge today over the other side is simply this. That and Mr. Chandrakar, what mistake? I think the mistake of the Uddhav Thackeray group has been in this hurry. I don't know who advised them. That tell the deputy speaker to disqualify 16. I don't know where. Today the court also asked that the deputy speaker's own position is under challenge. How can he disqualify 16?
Right.
So I think it was a strategic mistake.
Right. Arnab, what he was saying is a right argument. I would like to point out that the Honorable Court has given a very sensible and very right verdict today. And I appreciate the verdict because the Supreme Court knows the facts. The Deputy Speaker gave a very short time of 1 or 2 days to submit their replies, which is not acceptable to the court of law.
May I just
add
something
to any sensitive individual. The second point is when the case was going on, the point you raised at the beginning that some Sena leaders threatened that we will fight the battle on the street and in the court of law, and it is evidenced by morning announcement of Uddhav Thackeray by stripping the portfolios of ministers of Eknath Shinde group. And that has led to the consideration, the jurisprudence of the Supreme Court is that This is the point that they have ruled in favor of.
Sir, please understand. Sir, please understand. Please understand. The deputy, Satyapal Jain wants to come in. The deputy speaker cannot be the judge in his own cause. He cannot be the judge in his own cause. There are 46 MLAs who are seeking his own removal.
The Supreme Court.
Satyapal Jain.
The Supreme Court today passed the interim order after considering the 5 judges bench judgment in the case of Arunachal Pradesh, where the 5 judges bench said when there is a no confidence motion pending against the speaker or the deputy speaker, he cannot proceed with the anti-disqualification petition. So this was primarily the ground on which the Honorable Supreme Court today passed the interim order. Number 2, the concerned MLAs have to be given reasonable opportunity. Under the Maharashtra Assembly rules, you have to be given at least 7 days.
So 1 minute. MR wants to make a small point. MR,
Arnab, the Maharashtra government is undergoing serious hemorrhage. The only way to stop it and find out what is exactly the position is to have a floor test as up within the assembly. And the earlier it happens, the better for all of us. But at this point in time, it is advantage Shinde camp.
Last word of Mr. Kesarkar. Mr. Kesarkar, the headline we have today is that you have told me that later this week, the group with you is all going to come back to Mumbai. Around when, sir? Around when?
Whenever they call for the assembly session, special assembly session, we'll be very much there. We'll vote on the floor of the house and will prove our majority.
And will you all go together, go from Radisson Hotel in Guwahati to another hotel in Mumbai and then go to vote and then come out? Are you going to be together like a flock like this till then?
Sir, I'll like to mention that Mr. Aditya Thackeray, who is a very decent leader, announced that from the airport, you will have to come via Waradi. This language is not good. We look at it as a potential leader. So he should not use this language. Whichever way we go, we have the protection of the Supreme Court. Nobody should forget that. And if anybody breaks that, he is subject to action by the highest court of India.
Absolutely. The court is watching. So the story here is that we are expecting the numbers test somewhere later this week, and this group will come back, so it's going to get very exciting in Mumbai. I thank you very much for that, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side, the one of India's biggest political conspiracies that involved the whole Latvian media, NGOs, political parties. We have the full Teesta files, and it's explosive, coming up just a few minutes from now.
Stopping fire from spreading is difficult, but not impossible. Now with firewall technology, SentryPly saves you from fire.
Enroll in any of REVA's wide range of courses designed to take on an evolving education and an expanding future. REVA University.
Stopping fire from spreading is difficult, but not impossible. Now with firewall technology, SentryPly saves you from fire.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for 9 years by India Today University's rankings, a testimony to Amity's world-class quality.
मला असं वाटतं की अजून या गोष्टीवरती कोणी ठामपणे काय सांगू शकत नाही. फ्लोर ऑफ द हाऊसला जी परीक्षा होईल त्या परीक्षेमध्ये आम्ही चांगल्या प्रकारे उत्तीर्ण होऊ याची मला खात्री आहे. जसं मी म्हटलं